Shalom. I want to give all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakodash, and do honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to the hopeful elect. This is your brother I'm Nawa'Allah from GMS Chicago, and I'm going to do a quick lesson on about America is Babylon. Babylon the Great. And I'm going to first start off with Revelation chapter 17, verse 1. And there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will shew unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. And that great whore is talking about America. And that sitteth upon many waters, and though that many waters is talking about these different nations and tongues that are in America, because like America, you have all kinds of different of nations dwelling in here. You have all kinds of different languages of people here in America. I'm gonna go ahead and bring out going down to verse 15, it tells you, and he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the horse sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And that goes to show you that here in America you have all these kinds of different nations dwelling in here with multitudes of people with many nations and tongues. Verse 2. Actually, more to prove that, I'll bring out Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 13. Although thou dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures, thine end is come, in the measure of thy covetousness. Yeah, still speaking about can still be applied to it being America today, because America dwells upon many waters. There's many nations here in America. Verse 2, I'm going back to Revelation chapter 17, verse 2. With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with her wine of her fornication. And that wine of her fornication, the wine of Babylon, is really going into its philosophies. Its democracy, its religion, is its idolatry, its homos, lies, adultery, covetousness, and murder. All these other nations, they took hold of that wine and are made drunk of her wine. They are made drunk of Babylon's wine. They took on the Babylonians. Babylon's ways, basically. I'll read that again, verse 2. With whom the kings of the earth had committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth had been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon the scarlet colored beast full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And that woman is that woman, the whore, is America. And the 7 heads and the 10 horns is Nadam. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet colored, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. That goes into America's philosophy: is democracy, religion, idolatry, moles, lies, adultery, covetousness, and murder. And upon her forehead was the name written, Mystery Babylon, the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And you go into that word Babylon, its definition is confusion. You have all kinds of wickedness, you have all kinds of abominations here in America that America promotes, and these other nations, they took hold of those abominations. They took hold of that they took hold of that wine, and all that filthiness of America's fornication, and now the nations are mad. You have Russia. Russia is not really for these. Russia is not for these moles. Russia badly wants to destroy America. Same with these other nations. These other nations are sick and tired of America's abominations and filthiness. And soon America, Babylon the Great, will soon get destroyed by nuclear fire. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood. Oh, it's lucky. Actually, that was it to that part. I'm going to bring out Nahum chapter 3, verse 4. Actually, I'm going to start with verse 1. Woe to the bloody city, it is full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not. And this scripture can be applied today as being in America, because, that bloody city is, really talking about America as well. And it is full of lies and robbery, and the prey departed not. The noise of a whip, and the noise of the rattling of the wheels, and the prancing horses, and of the jumping chariots, goes into slavery, because, America was basically built upon blood. America was basically built upon slavery. Verse 3, and the horsemen lifted up both the bright sword and the glittering spear, and there was a multitude of slain, a great number of carcasses, and there is none end of her corpse. They stumble upon their corpse, because of the multitude of the whoredoms, the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts, that sells nations through her whoredoms, and families through her witchcrafts. And these nations, these other nations, they took hold of that wine, full of abominations and fornications, that was promoted by America, and now these nations are mad at this place, because America is just nothing but wickedness. America promotes all kinds of folly, and these nations, these other nations, are really just not for for America. These nations are these other nations are just fed up with this place. And I'm gonna go ahead and go down to Jeremiah chapter 51, starting at verse 1. And soon America, Babylon the Great, will get destroyed by nuclear fire. All these nations, including NATO, all these other nations, the EU and NATO, will soon get fed up of this place, and they're soon are going to shoot their arrows, their nuclear missiles here in America. Yeah, here is Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 1. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon, and against them that dwell in the midst of them, that rise up against me in a destroying wind. I will send unto Babylon fanners, that shall fan her and empty her land, for in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about, and against him that bendeth. Let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifted himself up in his bride Gedon, and spared ye not her young men. Destroy ye utterly all her host. Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, and they that are thrust through in her in their streets. For Israel had not been forsaken, nor Judah of his power. The Lord of hosts through their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel. Flee out of the midst of Babylon, and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. And right now, the prophets, the elect, are fleeing from Babylon's iniquities spiritually. They're fleeing from Babylon spiritually, by repenting, by taking heed to this word. I'll read that again, verse 6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon, deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off from iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. And those who are going to be cut off in her iniquities are going to be the 2/3, but those who are not going to be cut off in her iniquity are going to be the elect, because they're going to be spiritually fleeing from Babylon by repenting, by taking heed to this word. Soon the Lord is going to destroy this place with nuclear fire. Verse 7, Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. They made all the earth drunken, and the nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. And, like again, the wine, that golden cup, that wine, is full of filth, America's philosophy, its democracy, religion, idolatry, moles, lies, adultery, and covetousness, murder. Verse 8, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. And this place is crumbling. This place cannot be healed. The economy is about to crash. You have World War III brewing still. Verse 9, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. The Lord hath brought forth our righteousness. Come and let us declare in Zion the work of the Lord our power. Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes, for his device is against Babylon, to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple. And you can see the Lord is really just against America. The Lord is against Babylon the Great. You know, the Lord doesn't bless this place. The Lord is going to destroy this place real soon. Set up a standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen. Prepare the ambushes, for the Lord hath both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures, thy end is come, and the measure of thy covetousness. And yeah, you know, soon America will be no more. America is coming to an end. You know, the prophecies in the Bible are being fulfilled. You know, you had the first woe that already has passed, the second woe that already has passed. But yeah, you know, behold, the third woe cometh quickly, and we can see that. You know, you can just turn on the news and see all these nations that are gearing up for World War III, especially Russia and China. You know, all these nations have their missiles, their nuclear missiles, and their nuclear capabilities prepared to do one purpose, to do one objective, to ultimately destroy America with nuclear fire. I'm going to go ahead and bring out one more precept, and then that is it. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 5. Yea, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. And it still speaks about Babylon the Great, America. And this is part of America's wine, because, you know, I'll read it again. You know, this is the main point. Verse 5, yea, also because he transgressed by wine. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. You know, America is real covetousness. You know, America puts their businesses in. You know, America always gets into these other nations' businesses. You know, yeah. You know, Esau is, you know, as a proud man. You know, he cannot keep at home. You know, America. You know, Esau is a real greedy fuck. Verse 6, shall not all these take up a parable against him, a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. And yeah, you know, says, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. You know, Esau can never keep at home. Esau always wants to be in these other nations' businesses. You know, and these other nations are really tired of this place, and they're gonna get fed up to where they're gonna finally shoot nuclear missiles onto this place. But yeah, you know, this place cannot be healed. You know, it's already laden with thick clay, and that thick clay goes into depth. You know, America is not going to stand for long. But yeah, you know, I hope this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh Bashem, Yahushai, and Shalom.